All right, welcome back. So the break is over, and again, one very interesting thing is a lot has taken place about the PlayStation 5 Pro in the last few days. I've just been waiting because for some strange reason, the culmination of data is taking a very strange turn that has got me a little bit concerned. I open up Twitter and behold, I see this post. It's right here in front of my feed. It's the content creator Fritanga. He posted this particular clip from El Gamer Informado with this game. I think it's Dying Light, two different versions, one from the PlayStation, the other one, the Xbox Series X. Apparently, the frame rate is running higher on the Xbox Series X. But wait, there's more. Somebody replied and said, maybe do 2 seconds of research. Apparently, the left one is running at 4K, while the one on the right is running at 1080. So there is a discrepancy here, and the developers of Dying Light actually did talk about exactly what improvements they made for the PS5 Pro. The 4K is native at 30 FPS, and then other 4K parameters are upscaled, one from 1512 to 1440, blah, 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 blah. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I couldn't be bothered at all. That's not my focus. This is all noise. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the 4070 comparisons. Digital Foundry did a video just the other day. They mentioned a lot of stuff about the PlayStation 5 Pro. They've done many clips. In fact, they've done more content on the PS5 Pro collectively than many other outlets. But one thing I'm no longer seeing is 4070 comparisons after the one they did for Alan Wake 2. What could be the problem here? Could it be that the 4070 is one that if you actually compare it to the PS5 Pro, will more than likely bury it? Could it be that it's not worth doing the comparisons because they're, in two different paradigms, in two different realms? But by and large, what I'm seeing here from Digital Foundry is that they've slowly and softly moved away from the 4070 comparisons, and now they're focusing more on the features of the PlayStation 5 Pro. To me, this is the approach that should have been used in the very first place. A lot of the folk on the internet that were talking 4070 talk, in my opinion, were outright let me be nice. They were outrightly wrong because the 4070 is a different class of device. And one thing many of them never really said, and I let them kind of, in a sense, just hang themselves in quotes with their own, silliness, is that they never acknowledge that a 4070 is not an independent device. A 4070 is a device that is paired with a CPU that can modify and change its behavior, its capabilities, and even the way it renders. So what we're going to do is, since no one wants to talk about the 4070 requirements, and I'm not spending $500 on a 4070 because that is just asinine. I mean, right? Think about it. Why would I go spend, why would I go buy a 4070? I already bought my NVIDIA GPUs, and that's for production. I usually don't buy NVIDIA stuff for gaming much. It's overpriced, in my opinion. They're the Apple of GPU, manufacturing. So if I'm not getting an Uncle Sam incentive, I am buying for the most part. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at, say, just one game for now in this video so we can start getting our own data collection going, because it seems nobody's interested in backing up their 4070 claims anymore. Seems like that ship done sailed at the end of the day. So this content creator named Xiphos Gaming, I think that's how you say it, Xiphos, has a series of videos where they're calculating the frame rate of these games on the PlayStation 5 Pro versus the PS5. Now, I noticed that this individual actually subscribed to the Video Game Fight School channel, so shout out to you. Thank you very much for your subscription. I want to go ahead and also, return the kind gesture, and I just want to say I appreciate you for actually, getting in touch with the channel. I mean, I hope you enjoy the content. And I've been watching their Resident Evil gameplay, which I also want to go ahead and actually test the game out on, another build here and there, because I think it's very interesting. Now, Resident Evil, not really the game I'll play, but I think Resident Evil 4 seems to be a very different, slightly different kind of game from some of the others, or maybe it's not. And the PS5 Pro is able to maintain 60 FPS on average. It's dropping a few frames to 57, but I did not see it drop anything less than that 57 FPS in the scenes that are being played here. What I then went and did was I found some gameplay footage with Resident Evil 4 as well, using an RTX 4070 at 4K, native, at 1440, and at 1080 max. So basically they maxed out the settings. Now this game is basically a softball game to run in a sense for most machines. When I say softball, I've noticed that games that are done with a lot of indoors, or when a game is running indoors, the FPS, if the game is well optimized, is usually at its best, because now you can control for a lot within the scene, the lighting, the textures, everything there can be, much more heavily calculated. And the 4070's, performance metrics are doing way better than, the PS5 Pro. Not saying that the PS5 Pro is a bad proposition, ladies and gentlemen. No. In fact, if anything, I've always said that the PS5 Pro should be measured and judged within what the PS5 Pro is able to offer, even though I didn't believe, and I still don't believe till date, that the $250 or $280 markup, because you don't get a disk drive, is worth you spending that much money. At the end of the day, you can always spend money on a PC to be able to get the job done. And the 4070 is a much more expensive device. So in even comparing both of them, I'm not doing a service to either of them. Does that make sense? Hence, I've decided that I'm going to go with the 6750 XT. The 6750 XT is a GPU that I used to build my $650 build. Do y'all remember the $650 build, the one that I always hound y'all about? If you look, around, you're going to see that I made a video where I actually put these parts together in the PC part picker list. I built the PC, and I was able to go ahead and run some metrics to ensure that, okay, this particular PC could beat the PS5. With the 6750X at 1440 and, at 1080, according to these tests done here by GameZone TV, you can also see, now these are different scenes, that the 6750 XT is running at over 100 FPS in many scenes. This is using ray tracing and without ray tracing in terms of the different settings. It's not even a contest when you actually ensure that, you're looking at a PC as a whole. And I've noticed, again, like I said at the beginning of this video, the soft shift away from the PC comparisons and also the challenges that PSSSR is facing. Because this particular technology, it just came to the market and it's still hounded by the exact same issues that FSR has been, being held back by. Here's the thing. I think it's very funny that a lot of people have thought that somewhere, somehow, PSSR was going to be better than FSR when FSR's biggest challenge has been the hardware. And knowing and seeing how PlayStation is an AMD-based device in terms of the way it's made, and even Xbox, you can already tell from, just if you just consider what, hardware and software do in terms of their, their synchronization or their synthesis in rendering frames, that PSSR is going to have the exact or similar challenges to FSR. FSR has had multiple iterations, and because of the way PSSR is built, basically similar to some of the FSR paradigms, it will face those same situations. The reason why ray tracing and the reason why upscaling and such is better at NVIDIA is, yes, their technology is superior at this point, but their chip is much better. The way they actually do it, it's not a chip that anybody can just go out and just go grab. It's actually a much better chip. If the PS5 was based on was based on NVIDIA's Tensor cores, oh my gosh, it would do great stuff at the end of the day. But I'm really going to pay attention to more of what's being said. And like I said, I've been looking at Digital Foundry. I've noticed, like I said, a soft shift from a lot of what what they've been talking about. Even their more recent video where they talked about they talked about PlayStation's problems. They talked about PSSR's problems in terms of being able to render textures properly and so on and so forth. These are normal concerns that you're going to see with an AMD based solution, and it's one that we've always seen. Where AMD excels is in raw rasterization to give you high frame rates. This is why I put the 6750 XT test in here, because that's where AMD shines. So all of the other gimmicks like, upscaling and such has not necessarily been their strong point. They just have the chips, they just have the, the technology to be able to basically allow for a game to excel beyond, what you can actually get with most other devices. In fact, in some instances, you'll see that, an AMD device will beat an NVIDIA device, even though the NVIDIA device is much more expensive. But more people will buy the NVIDIA devices because, they have some interesting applications. And more people are just fans of NVIDIA. That's one thing about the PC gaming market, too. That's where some hypocrisy lies, is that people will say things like, AMD needs to compete more. But the reality is they want AMD to, in quote, compete more so that they can go buy NVIDIA products. That's what they want to do. They want NVIDIA products to be cheaper because AMD is winning so they can buy more NVIDIA. It's basically what, a lot of gamers, do on the long run. But this comparison, to me, I'm going to try my best to see if we can continue taking a look at it as time goes on, because you just cannot let for a lot of these people who were out there making a lot of noise to just walk in here and lie and then get away scot-free. No, 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 no. And, to those who are actually trying to punch out the FPS comparisons between these two, I'd say we need to find, say, videos that posit exactly what the, best relevance would be in terms of comparison for the PlayStation 5 Pro. But it's still old hardware. It's still going to face its challenges. And honestly, as much as I think it's impressive, I just think that the price is actually way out of line. But these are my thoughts anyways. Let me hear yours in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. And hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.